The idea is so that you actually talk to the camera as opposed to talk to me.
Okay, whatever. Whatever works. Okay, got it.
We truly do live in an interconnected world, and I think that that's something that politicians haven't really adjusted to. Can you just shed a little bit of light on how mobile devices are actually playing into the political process?
Most of the leaders have no clue what's about to happen when everybody uses their mobile phones. The important thing is I don't think people understand what happens when everybody gets connected. That's what I'm working on. I believe very strongly that the world will be a much, much safer place as more and more people are connected and more of their voices, their ideas, and their participation is seen by everybody. Your generation, everybody's using mobile phones, everybody sort of grew up with them. They said, oh, well, sure, we always had this. But the fact of the matter is these mobile phones are cameras and they're GPSs and they're communications devices. They can be used to sort of track people in good and bad ways if they want to and if governments want to. Autocrats can use these devices against you, and democracies can use them to enable you. I think the big fact for politicians is it's harder for them to lie to young people because young people are more connected and they can check what they say. People would say all sorts of stuff when I was a young person and I had no way of checking. Now somebody says something, you can just look it up, say, is that true or not? Or here's something he said, I don't like him, I don't support that, or that's wrong, or that's not the truth. These tools allow you as a participant to have a much better understanding of what you're getting yourself into when you join a cause or you join the thing that you care about. To me, that's wonderful. The other thing that these mobile devices do is they serve as a check and balance on sort of terrible things. Look at the terrible injustices done to young people, especially women in developing countries. These injustices can now be documented and outrage can be used to suppress them. The fear of prosecution and being caught can cause things we never had seen before. We didn't know these were occurring, although we suspected. Now we know we can go after these evil people and get it stopped. What I think is most important is for young people to participate in the political process as opposed to ignore it. These are people who are doing stuff to you, so you might as well get involved, figure out how to vote, figure out how to organize people, and build your voice so you get heard in the same way that older people are being heard. The biggest story in the world is really a demographic story. The youth bulge in Asia and the Arab world and so forth will change those societies and us forever, simply because of sheer numbers. And we forget that America went through a similar youth bulge in the 60s called the post-war generation, which produced amazing economic growth and made it sort of an American few decades. Europe went through similar periods earlier. So the fact of the matter is that demographics matter, and that the youth, especially in the developing economies, as they're connected, will have a much greater say on the world that we think they will. In terms of consumer tastes and so forth and so on, it's really going to make a huge difference, and it's going to come from the young people globally. The global competitiveness now is so much tougher than when I was a young person. It's just so much harder to grow, to be competitive and so forth in your company, in your university, in your music, in whatever it is that you do. And so the fact of the matter is that maybe putting everybody together puts everybody stronger. The big message about young people today is that they're better educated, smarter, and they're cooler and savvier than any generation has been before, frankly, because they're just more connected. They know more things. And yet we're not using them. We're not using them to inform our decisions. They're not participating, and that's a real tragedy. So from my perspective, this youth generation that's driving the online experience, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so forth, the sooner we can get that generation to be in charge, right, get these old people like me out of this thing, get a new generation of leaders who can sort of take charge of this, can use these tools, right, to move the body politic forward, to make the world a safer place, to do a better job of quality of life for everybody, and education and so forth, the better.